Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish looking at the second question, which is what events happened in his or her country and world in the first 20 years of their life that might have shaped his or her life. We have a couple of resources available, but I've already looked over my print source and found some interesting information, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'll read it to you, and then I'm going to go ahead and type it up in my own words. It says that he was born shortly after the cession of Corsica to France by the Genoese. So Genoa's in Italy. They had given control to France of the island where he was born. His father's family was of ancient Tuscan nobility. Again, Tuscany is also going to be Italian, and then had immigrated to Corsica in the 16th century. And moving on, it talks about the French occupation of their native country being resisted by a number of Corsicans. So there was still a little bit of resistance to the French control there. And the person who was controlled during his childhood actually had to flee Corsica. Apparently, Bonaparte actually finally did come to terms with France after that change took place, but he was kind of born into the change of control from Italy to France. And so I'm going to go ahead and include that information on here. I'll pause you out and be right back. Okay, so there it is in my own words. Now I need to go ahead and get my citation information for this chunk of information. And I went ahead and found my ISBN number in my particular encyclopedia, went through EasyBib, and I've already gotten the information about my encyclopedia. Now I just need to fill in the blanks. The article title, of course, is Napoleon. And the author's name is not on here. Sometimes it's hard to find with encyclopedias. Sometimes you can find it, just take some digging. In this case, it's actually not even listed here individually. This is the title of the encyclopedia. It is very well known. The volume number I happen to know is 12. It's the 15th edition. And publication information has already been filled in for me on here. So the only thing that I have left is the page number, which in this case was 831. So I'm going to go ahead and create this citation, and look at that. It's all there for me. I can copy it, go back over my document, paste it, make it look however I want to make it look, and then I'm ready to find more information about this subject. So let's do that. That's really not enough information. All right, now, I was earlier looking at the article from the Gale Group encyclopedia and noticed some information about what was going on early in his life. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to pause until I find it. All right, I didn't find it in this article, so I'm going to look at another resource that was available on here, which was this very first one. And I know that this particular resource tends to have timelines. Yeah, so I've got information here. The earliest thing on this particular list is 1789, and that was already at his 20th year. But it's an important one because it's the French Revolution. So I'll save that for the end of this section, but I will come back to it. It says the time of his birth, the Boston Tea Party occurred, and that was kind of like the catalyst for the American Revolution. See, down here it even talks about the American Revolution, the War for Independence, 1775 to 1783. So I'm going to go ahead and put something about that real quickly here. All right, so I've put that in my own words, and now I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any other information that was important. Where is the article I was looking at? There we go. Okay. Again, the French Revolution started in 1789. That's very important. There's actually some more information here about that. Mob stormed the Bastille. Oh, here, the Treaty of Paris formally recognized American independence. Let's make note of that. Okay, so I've got that. Now we're going to go back and take a look at that information about the French Revolution. Okay, 1789, mob stormed the Bastille. So let's put that information in there. Okay, so I've got that information down. Now I just need to cite my source. I really don't even need to go back because I've already got the... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, I haven't used this source. This is a new Gale source. So let's see. No, that's not it. There we go. I'm going to go to the bottom of this source. I'm going to copy And I have now actually used a total of 3 different sources from the web. It's fine for you to use more than the 2 that you have to. You just have to have at least 2 different ones. So let me make this look the way that I want it to. And then I can go ahead and look at answering the next question. It's not a bad idea for me to take a quick look at World Book. If you remember, I said there's a timeline. So if I look at this timeline here, he was born in 1769, and he died, I'm sorry, I did 20 years, would have been 1789. So if I wanted to go ahead and search for like some specific times, then what I could do is just go 67 to 1769, and I can see what happened then. So let's search that. All right. Not a whole lot to help me there. It does tell me about Andrew Jackson, John Quincy Adams, history of the automobile, Canadian literature. I don't see anything that's going to immediately help me with that. So the only other thing that I could do if I wanted to is I could search Napoleon, and I could do, you know what, actually let's try France, and then search that and see what happens there if I get a timeline. Okay, so we've got way back. Let's look in the late 1600s, 1700s. I'm going to make this spread out just a little bit here. And we're looking for 1760 something here. Okay, well, 1789, the French Revolution began. We got nothing before that, so there's really nothing else in here for us to add to the timeline. So we're going to go ahead and move on to looking for pictures of Napoleon. And if I go back on my Gale group, that first search, it comes up with a lot of things. One of them is images. So if I take a look at my images here, maybe I can find one that I like that I think will help me. There's one right here. There's one right here. So those are both things that I could use. Really just choose any picture that you think is going to give you an idea of what your person might have looked like. Because remember, you're going to be presenting as your person. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this one and copy it over. I'm not going to make you watch while I do that. There's not going to be a lot of information for some of these about what they wore, particularly the older ones. You know, anybody who's still alive today, you shouldn't have any difficulty at all finding things about fashion trends. But your best bet here is going to be to look up as many pictures as you can, see what you can find that shows pictures of them. So I've already found that one from Gale Group. I just need to go ahead and get the citation information for that picture that I used. So let's do that real quickly here. Probably should have done that before I moved along. Okay, I've got that information and can paste it now. And once I put that in, it's already pretty full. So if I could go through and find information about it, it would be wonderful. But honestly, at this point, I'm not super concerned about it. Even if I found another painting, it would be really hard for me to fit it in here. So I'm going to be content with this. And if you take a look back from this, you can see that's a good solid page worth of research. Every single chunk has its own information. This chunk of research has a source citation. This chunk of information, source citation. This chunk cited. This chunk cited. This chunk cited. Oh, but you know what I forgot? There's one thing I forgot. Right up here. This one is not cited. I got to go back, find that source citation, and put it in there. Oh, wait a second. No, I don't. I got that picture from this article. So what I can do is just over here in parentheses, I can write information and map. And then I don't have to do a separate citation. As long as I put some kind of a key in here that tells me, that's enough. But otherwise, this gets cited, this gets cited, this gets cited. I don't just have a big bunch of source citations at the bottom. Everything gets cited individually. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Ask your teacher questions.